what are the top challenges in a movable marriage? Well, before I can even get to the top challenges, I have to tell you how I arrived at what I thought were the top challenges. There's a conference in the United States called Families in Global Transition, an excellent conference every year that brings together people like me, people who are coaching, people who are very much interested in the movable family. We are very interested in raising children, all these issues. We're not addressing some of the practical real estate issues. We're talking about emotional issues. Anyways, 10 years ago now, at least, somebody said, Robin's always going on and on about her marriage. She should do a workshop on marriage. So they asked me, and I thought, oh, okay. Okay, I'll call it a movable marriage. That's how book titles, by the way, get their name. And I thought, okay, what are the 5 top challenges? And I came up with 5. No, what are the top 10? What are the top 20? Next thing I knew, I would have had 100 challenges going. So I had to limit myself. That's how I came back to what I perceive as the top challenges. The first one is the Mrs. Husband's job. The idea that suddenly you're wearing, like the military say, you're wearing your husband's rank on your sleeve. You suddenly are, you are whoever your organization is that your husband works for. And people, believe it or not, and I couldn't believe it because we were in the diplomatic, people won't talk to you unless your husband is of a certain ranking. That was the biggest shock of my life, that, oh, sorry, my husband's only the 3rd secretary / janitor at the Canadian Embassy in Bangkok. Oh, that's nice. And people would walk right past me. So the Mrs. Husband's job immediately slots you into how you're going to have friendships, believe it or not. I'd like to think that that's changed, but I've seen it doesn't change. So you're identified only in terms of what he does, or as I've mentioned before, you can be identified in terms of, your children, your so-and-so's mummy, just how you want to be known. The second is the career challenge, which I don't want to go into at length because, as I said, I'll give you a lot of resources when you contact me from this series to some fabulous, fabulous career counselors who can help you with that. But dual career couples have a lot of challenges. Dual career in the sense that both have careers that will allow them to go overseas. Doesn't that sound great? Now find a place where you will have a company, an embassy, a mission, or whatever that accommodates both careers. They have much more difficulty finding places where they both can work. Usually what I've seen happen very often is that a woman or a husband will take on a different career and follow one career because it's just so much easier. The other huge challenge for a marriage, and this is where we can get into some fun stuff, ladies, is the partner who travels, or the partner who is on a short-term assignment or on a commuter assignment. A lot of companies in their infinite wisdom decided, we don't have to move a family. We'll just send the guy out Monday to Friday to wherever it is that we need to have him. Or Monday to whatever. We'll send him about a month at a time and just bring him back. I don't know what smart person thought of that, but they weren't terribly smart because they didn't realize that they were trying to eliminate one set of challenges, which was not having to uproot a whole family, but they were creating another set of challenges by removing a person from the family unit, a person who would come home and immediately want to integrate into the family, but that wasn't going to happen very often. I knew so many women who, the minute they coped while their husband was away, and I certainly count myself among them. Didn't matter what happened. I had a water heater break. I had all sorts of stuff. I could cope with it. But the minute my husband would come home, that's when I would lose it. And I would scream, oh my God, you put the cutlery in the wrong drawer. I could have managed epidemics, pandemics, anything, but oh my God, I was going to lose it over this cutlery. And when I was doing my interviews for this book, I said, my God, there's a cutlery fetish going on in the world. It was like so many people have the same issue. And what are the problem is that somebody is not part of the daily routine anymore when they travel a lot. And whether it's some very odd Murphy's Law, when somebody calls from the road, they always call at 6 o'clock. Just as somebody's either going out the door for a soccer lesson, a piano lesson, some kind of lesson, or it's 0 hour in the family, whatever. Partners who travel. And now, sometimes partners who don't travel, but they might as well be traveling because they're on their BlackBerry the whole time. This causes huge hassles within the marriage. Because essentially you often feel like you're leading different lives. So that's become a huge challenge for marriages. Other top challenges, I mean, I could go on and on and on, but I won't, because every marriage, while sharing certain similarities in how they cope with some of these challenges, every marriage is different. And that's something that I really do need to stress if I haven't stressed it enough. What works for me or what works for somebody else might not work for you. It is very often a trial and error procedure where you have to figure out, okay, I'm going to cut him some slack on this, or he's going to cut me some slack because I had a meltdown. And believe me, meltdowns are us. A lot of women have a lot of meltdowns when they're overseas. It's okay if you've just had a meltdown and are watching this, okay? These stresses are the stresses that would happen in any marriage. That's something really important to remember. All that's happened is that you've taken the marriage outside its comfort zone. So any cracks that might have been in the marriage when you were not mobile will suddenly become very, very apparent when you move abroad.